right, so we on the island. Once again, we on the island. I got another great hooper for y'all, man. This is a throwback for me. I haven't talked to my mans in plenty of years now. You know, like it's getting wild. But,
too long.
Man. Got my guy Brandon Brown. Cheeks. You feel me? Cheeks is in the building from Nashville.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
Oh, you already know, man. You already know.
Let's get it.
I've had to, like I told you a second ago, man, I got to get you on here, man. You was a nice hooper, you know, he's 6'6". He could do just about whatever on the court for real. I mean, I seen you do it all. So, you know, I think you deserve your shine. Yeah, bro, you deserve your shine, bro. You deserve your love and your time.
Yeah, man. I'm washed up now, so it's good to hear that, man. It's good to, you know, remind everybody. I used to have a little something with me back in the day. Now I'm just old and corny, but
we gotta let folks know, man. So I'm gonna get into it, man. I'm gonna get into it. This is my first question I ask everybody. When's the last time you took a jump shot?
Oof, man. We were just talking about this before we got on, bro. I think I swear, all right, this is a good transition on why we postponed this podcast. Because, man, ever since I think, man, once I hit 25, 26, my back just, it sucks, bro. Like, I can't play pickup. I can't do nothing. If I go shoot 2 times on the court, like, I come home, my back is done the next day. So we were supposed to do this podcast last week, and I threw my damn back out just sitting around. I'm talking about, I threw it out. Like, I'm in bed laid up. I can't move. I can't go downstairs. Yeesh. So I just said, man, you know, and I'm actually quite lazy. So if I worked out more, I probably wouldn't even be tripping like this. But, man, to say that I ain't hooped in probably about a year and a half is the last time I really, like, went out and hooped. And I was serving niggas, too, but I came home and my back was hurting. So I said, you know what? You know how it is once you have a good day hooping. I said, you know what, I can retire on that one. So I need to get back into it, man. It's been about a year and a half. Yeah,
my man said he went out on a high note, on the highest note. As he should, man.
Got to. Man. You know how it is.
I got close, man, because me, it's my shoulders, bro. Like my shoulders, and now my knees are starting to get to me because all that jumping and dunking back in the day, all that extraness that I didn't need to do.
You had bunnies back then too, though, Jerry. You had bunnies.
Hey, but I didn't need to. I could have still had them and just took a couple dunks out, bro. Like them extra ones, just after everybody just playing around. I've been doing that forever, and it's catching up to me now, bro. And my shoulders, people tugging on them and stuff. I'm almost done. But I'm holding on to it, bro. I got a guy out in Columbus, man. My boy AP, I've had him on. He's kind of a fit dude, and he's kind of got me together, trying to, you know, keep me right. So,
right. Another thing that got me to stop too. You probably get good runs where you at, but I couldn't really find a good solid run, and you know, I don't like taking too many L's on the court. You know what I mean? So if I got a bad teammates and I'm snapping, I just got to go. So I'm getting too old for all that too. So that was another reason.
I feel like, it don't be worth it, man, out there on some open run.
Can't do it. I get too heated.
So man, I'll just give the people just a little rundown of just how we met, man. So it had to be back in 2009. That was my freshman year. That's when I came in to Lipscomb, man. Lipscomb out in Nashville. You know, that was my first taste of like. Everybody else has kind of said their real first taste, and y'all was like my first real taste of like basketball, you know, like real ball. Everybody on the court pretty much can hoop. Everybody can do their thing. And, you know, because coming in high school, it might have been some scrubs out there. You know, you might get away with, you know, it'll be a mismatch on one guy. Like,
facts.
Out there, it's still mismatches, but I was the mismatch is what I learned earlier. That's what I learned earlier. I was the rook, man.
No, man.
I'll tell you a play too, because I'll tell you a play that I remember where I was like, all right, this is real, and you were involved. So, it was like the first open gym I actually ran with all of y'all. We were in Allen Arena, the little gym though, on the side. I can't remember
the McQuitty. Yeah,
McQuitty. We was in McQuitty, bro, and I think I got the ball. I got the ball like it was fast break type stuff. I got the ball on the wing opposite of the court. Brought it down. And I was like, all right, this is my time right here. I got to show everybody I can do my thing. Like, I got to get a bucket or I got to do something, bro. And I gave Josh like a double cross. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, he bit on it a little bit. Okay, yeah. And I'm like, all right, it's not nobody really down there no more. Here come you, bro, up opposite side. I went up like I was about to try to punch. You come up here, rejection, dog. Rejection going the other way. Nobody thought twice about it, bro. It was like, it wasn't even nothing. It was just like, move that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Bro, I was like, okay, this is different. This is different, man.
That's crazy. It's crazy you say that. You know, I don't remember those specific plays, but, man, I do remember, man, like, we had a really good team. I think that's one of the things that upsets me the most about my college career. Like, our squad could have went to the tournament at least one of those years. Like, between like Otto, Slater, Berg, me, Brian. We had Johnny Lee. We had just really good dudes that like we just had a squad. You know what I mean? And like the fact that we never got to the tournament, really kind of hurts me with that.
It was crazy.
But talking about you came in, you know what I mean? You came in as, you walk on. But I remember one thing about Jerry was because, most niggas would come in and walk on, you're like, yada, yada, yada. He's garbage. Yeah. Jerry, you weren't garbage, bro. Like, it was one of those, don't sleep on Jerry because Jerry will cross you quick. And you said that double cross. I know it got Slater because it got everybody, bro. Like, that double cross. That I can still see you doing that double cross. You quick, too, with it. And man. So you definitely won a week league, bro. You out there hooping. I remember that for sure. Those were the good times.
It was good times, man. We had great practices and stuff, and I'll get more into it then too. But we had great practices and stuff. A lot of times where I definitely learned to grow up with y'all, man. Like y'all taught me a whole lot. You personally, I would feel like taught me like teammate type stuff, man. Like you was a great teammate to like everybody in the team liked you, bro. Like there was nobody that was like anti-cheeks, bro. Nobody. And I was like, that's how you should be, as a teammate. And I kind of, I took stuff from that, man. Especially once I transferred out. Yeah, man, it was great, bro. Like you was always like, OG in me, dog. Like, you was always teaching me the game whenever you could. You was giving me jokes, you feel me? Y'all would cook sometimes, but I deserved it. I was the youngin' at the time, so I respect that, and I always appreciate it.
It was only out of love too, though. I think everybody, all my homies, we all had a special affinity for you, especially because you was, everybody. The same goes for me as it goes for you, and ain't nobody have a bad word to say about Jerry. You was always in good spirits. You was a walk on, but you always, came practice hard, and you never had no bad vibes. So it was nothing, nobody, nothing. So. I appreciate you shouting me out, but I had to show you love too, bro. For real, you was always good people.
Oh, man, love, man. So let's take it back then, man. We can take it back on your timeline. So when was the first time, like, you wanted to start taking ball seriously? Like, when do you think that dream began with you? Like, all right, ball is my thing right now.
Man, I think I started playing basketball when I was 9, and I just remember, like, from that on, it was, like, the one thing I remember, like, I was actually kind of good at, halfway decent, and I remember just really loving it. Like, there was something about making a basket and, like, being around a team. Like, it just hit me then. When I really wanted to get serious about it was probably, I think, man, I started playing AAU when I was, like, 12 years old, and I got recruited to a really good travel team. And I got, kind of started getting noticed, and my parents sat me down and they were like, we got an opportunity to send you to a better private school, Brentwood Academy, that could help me develop as an athlete. And this is when I was 12 years old. I wanted to just stay with my friends. And I still remember that day, them being like, if you want this to be something you really want to do, there's an opportunity and you got to take it serious now. So I'd say around 6th grade is when I kind of knew, like, I was good at it. Everybody in my family kind of knew, like, I kind of had something talented in it. And I made a decision then, like, hey, I didn't know if it was going to be basketball, football, or what, but I wanted to play sports in college. So probably around 12 years old, man, which is crazy to say because, being that young and knowing you want to do something, but, it ended up working out.
No. I mean, that's when it happens. And especially if your parents, like, put that on you and they influenced you, it looked like, I mean, it sounds like they influenced you just, like, you were like, all right, this is a serious question and I need to think about this, and you made your decision basically. So So it took you from, are you saying that took you from like maybe public schools to like private schools where you were in
Yeah,
public
well,
schools?
I was in a smaller private school, but this one, like, you know, I went from a small private school to like this is the school of the state. I still think I went to the best high school in Tennessee, man, Brentwood Academy. Like, it's pristine. As you can see, I mean, I played with NBA players, man. Went
Yeah, I
from,
must
you
say
know,
you had some dogs.
so yeah, man, we were number 12 team in the nation my junior year in high school. So, you know, you go from that to
Mm,
that level. It was crazy. It was a
yeah,
crazy switch up, man. And it got real, kind of how you felt when you got to Lipscomb. That's how it was when I went to BA. Like,
yeah,
oh, this is serious now. Like, this is serious.
tough.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah, man. So, and early, so who were some of like your favorite players that might have like influenced your game, or that you were just like, even you just sit back and be like, look, this is my favorite player right now. You know, I'm young,
I
whatever.
was, man, it's crazy because my two favorite players were Kobe and AI. I don't know. Growing up,
Kobe
man,
and
those are the
AI.
two jerseys I had. And what's crazy,
Yeah.
I always thought like it made me so mad because I was nothing like them. Like, I was not a dog on the court like Kobe. I was I was pissed that I grew up like in a private school. I didn't have braids. I didn't have tats. I was pissed. Like, you know, I wanted to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like
You be
AI and Kobe.
IBL. I mean,
And I wasn't like that. Like, but I respected their mentality. Like, on the court, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can be cool off the court, be
yeah,
whatever. But when you're on the court, like, it's a different game, man. Like, you know, we love this game. We're trying to win.
yeah,
So, those are my two favorite players
definitely.
growing up, for sure.
Yeah, and those games are undeniable. You feel me? Like, I think I definitely like when I think back to it because I was definitely young. It was what 96 and they both came in. I'm
Yep.
5, bro. So like
Right.
I didn't know real like what was happening at time, but as soon as like literally as soon as I see him play and that it connected, bro. Like
Right.
that early, you feel me? Like that crossover from Iverson, you feel me? The whole demeanor out there, the lay. Kobe,
Yeah.
just the 360 done. You know, 360, I used to think Kobe automatically. Just like you see him
Yeah.
do it on the break. I'm like, that's tough, man. Like, that's his dunk. Like, it
And
wasn't, but
the thing that those two had too was just the swag, man. Before there's even
yeah.
swag, it was just they made it look cool. You know,
Yeah.
a crossover from Iverson just looks better than anybody else doing a crossover. You know what I mean? I don't
Fact.
care if it's the exact same move. Kyrie's probably the only other person I think it like just looks cool when he pats that rock, man. So
Yeah.
like those guys
I give
having
it,
swagger, I didn't think I had that back then. I you know I didn't really model my games after them because I couldn't. I wasn't that
yeah.
athletic, but their mentality is kind of what I took from them.
Did you ever see anybody that you did like take something from? Like, oh, okay, that's a nice move. You know, that's something I feel like that's in my ballpark. Did you ever see anybody like that?
Well, this is all right. So we can get to high school. I
Okay.
saw Kevin Durant. Since Brandon Wright is who I played with on my high school team. He was the number 3 player in
Right.
the country. The number 2
Tough.
player in the country that year was Kevin Durant. And so Kevin Durant, I saw as a 16-year-old. I mean, I was 15 years old, and I still
Yeah.
remember to this day was seeing him in Anaheim. We lived in Anaheim, California, watching him play, and it changed
Yeah.
my life. And he's 3 months older than me, bro. And I saw him
Yeah.
hoop, and it changed my life as a sophomore in high school. And so I just followed his career, and like he was, you know, he was the first like big. He was 7 foot, but he could pat the rock. He could shoot. He could do whatever. He was a guard.
That's
He wasn't
wild.
like a pick and pop, you know, 7-footer. He could really hoop, and he
Yeah.
was doing that at 16. And so I saw him, bro, and this is what's going to trip you out. I saw him. He's still my favorite player to this day that plays.
Mm-hmm.
I was number 35 in college, as you know, because of him. So
Yep.
I tell
Yep.
people all the time, man, like Kobe and AI is who I looked up to, but Durant is my guy, and he's only 3 months older
Yeah.
than me. But I looked up to him, like, you know, because I saw him at 15, and like ever
Yeah.
since then, it's crazy. But yeah, I'd say him.
Respect. That would do it, man. Like I was saying in old episodes, man, I've seen like Manny Harrison live or whatever, and I thought he
That'll
was
do it.
like that one.
I
So
remember
I
Manny
know I
Harris.
seeing
He was
KD.
'07. He was my class. He
Yeah.
could hoop. Man, he could
Yeah.
hoop.
That's crazy to me that these your class too. Like that still trips me out.
Yeah,
Like I knew it
yeah.
even at the time. I knew it with the 35, but it didn't
Yeah.
even register still. Like they
That's
are
crazy, right?
close, but he's nice though and still doing it. You feel me?
Facts.
So as we talked about high school, man, Brentwood Academy, man. So what was the atmosphere like there? I know you said it was like a new level. Like once you got there, you kind of experienced that new level. I know for me, like a lot of my school was a high school. It was a high school. A lot of my school was like a football type atmosphere. So like everything was directed towards football. Basketball got love, but I was the only person really focused on my basketball self and all that type of stuff. What was that atmosphere there? Like, what was it, especially there?
Yeah, it's funny you said that because before we got there, it was really a football powerhouse school, Brentwood Academy. They hadn't won a state championship in basketball until the year before my freshman year, Brandon Wright's freshman year. So the year before I got to high school was like really when basketball started taking off, and so like we got this really good team, and that's when I talked about like my freshman year in high school. I think we had how many players? I think we had 7 D1 players like on the team then, and that was just jumping in the fire, bro. Like I started on my freshman year not even on varsity, and so it was kind of like you know you either sink or swim. Like I had doubts where like should I even be at this school? Am I even this good? And then you realize, man, you compete in all these good players, and you go up against them and play somebody else, play people in your neighborhood, you're killing them. You're like, oh man, you know.
Yeah, they're like little.
So I realized then that it really wasn't about the numbers. Like I didn't really have good numbers at all throughout my first 3 years in high school, just because you know I was on such a good team. Like we were 12 in the nation, but I got so much better, man. I got so much better than I would have playing with any other school or getting my own kind of buckets. I got to play with people guys that went Division I. My roommate Brian Wright, you know, as you know, B Wright, my guy.
Yeah.
I battled him every day, man,
My
from
God.
seventh grade year all the way through college, man. Now we played one-on-one so many times, and like that's my brother, man. Just because of those battles we went through, bro. Like, and you just get better doing that.
Man.
When I think about BA, I just think about like I was just around a bunch of just good, motivated people, and it got me good and motivated, and you know, not even realizing how good I was getting, you know.
Yeah, and you say so. What was your progression like then through high school? Like I know you said you feel like you didn't have your good numbers your first 3 years. Like so you say you didn't even start off varsity. So what was that progression like? When did they start seeing it? Like when did you start seeing it? I should say.
I would get
okay, it's getting better.
Yeah. I'd say like I started out, but I started my freshman year not on varsity. By the end of my freshman year, I was actually getting minutes. Like I was like 6th, 7th man off the bench, kind of playing sparingly. And I'd say I backed up Brandon Wright for most of my career till he graduated. So like I was good, played a lot. Like I started getting noticed during AAU around my junior year. But here's what happened. Brandon left for senior year, and then I just kind of like took off. I realized it was like my senior year. I realized this is my shot. And I ended up winning Mr. Basketball that year. Like
Mr. Basketball.
I won Mr. Basketball just because, like, I still don't even know how, man. Like, I really don't. It's got probably one of my, highest honors I got just because, like, I went from this obscure dude. I probably averaged 6 points a game my junior year, backing up this guy that's going to the league. And then next year I'm starting and we win. We get all the way to the state tournament. We didn't win the state, unfortunately, but, I averaged a good amount of points and, won Mr. Basketball.
But that's still coming off of a state championship, though, isn't it?
Yeah, coming off 3. I got 3 state championships and a Mr. Basketball.
I say, see, you still got ships, man. Like it's people that's hooping forever. People that's hooping forever, man, and never got like ships. Like, so I feel like you should always take that in, man, because those matter just as much, bro.
No, you're right, man. I won Mr. Basketball, but I'd say my junior year, the fact that we ended up number 12 in the nation, at the end of it, that's probably what I'm most proud of, man. That's something I still tell people about. I don't even talk about the Mr. Basketball. So yeah, I feel you.
Dope, man. So we talked about AAU a couple times, man. Just tell me about your AAU experience. I know you say you jumped in there about 12. And started going. Just who is your team and how was that experience for you?
When I started out in 6th grade, I played they were called the NSG Eagles, sponsored by Nashville Sporting Goods, and that's where I met a lot of. Josh Slater was on that team. That's where I met Slater my first year at AAU, which is crazy. I still know and love him to this day. And so I started out there, and then halfway through like my middle school, high school career, I switched, and I ended up playing for the Tennessee Mavericks my last couple of years with Brian and a bunch of guys from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. A guy named Chasen Allen, who's works in the league somewhere right now. Really hooped at Northeastern. We were a really, really good team. So I played with those guys through my last couple of years. Like I said, Brian was with me everywhere I went, mostly. So as long as Brian was on the team, I normally find a team he was on and play with him. So yeah,
Respect,
man, AAU was great.
Be right. What's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a minute either.
Yeah, man. He's part of the dad community too now. Just had a beautiful baby girl. So shout out to him, man. Crazy.
Respect, man. Shout out you, B. And holla at me. But yeah. But no, so as far as AAU, man, I always ask this little follow-up question. Just how do you feel about the system of AAU? Like, I know some people, I'd say for me, my dad put me more in like the high school system just because he knew it was like a system. It wasn't just like individual basketball. And I know that's kind of what AAU is turning to now. Like, you have those big name dudes on different teams, and it's more even just like of a network type thing for you to just get your name out there and stuff like that. Like, how do you feel about the play of the game, I guess, and how was y'all's play?
Well, I think I'm kind of part of the last probably generation where it was really getting serious with the AAU, where you had like sponsored teams and like, guys teaming up to like really compete for like these big tournaments. We still were kind of on the same thing of like, you get your best guys kind of locally and you form a team, around the guys that I played with. Like I said, I played with or played against like since I was from sixth grade all the way through high school. So we kind of stuck together and got better every year. We'd have our high school year, but we knew during the summer we'd be playing together and all that stuff. And it's a good system. It was a good system then. I know why people don't like the AAU thing now, especially with the, because now they're just completely different than high school. AAU is like you just team up with your top 10 talents and you go play one-on-one ball and you just try to, get scouts to look at you. Back then, we'd still run plays in AAU. We'd still meet up and have practices in AAU. And like, I knew these guys. So it translated a lot differently to actually real sports. The one thing about AAU though is it's like it's just the best way to get recruited. Honestly, like you're gonna if you're good and you get in a good AAU tournament, you're gonna get looked at. You're gonna have an opportunity to play in front of coaches, and if that's your goal, man, it's really kind of hard not just to do only high school these days to get and still get recruited, which is what I know. Which kind of sucks both ways, I guess. But I don't really have anything bad to say about AAU because of what it did for me. And it's different now. I can't really speak on how it is now, but yeah, man, it's I know without AAU, I wouldn't have got a scholarship. I know that was a good way for me to showcase my talents.
Yeah, I feel that, man, and that's what I've learned. I feel like in hindsight, just like how much more, because I played AAU here and there with different teams, but it was always it was more focused. Like even summertime, it's more focused on where the high school was in the summer, because there was that too, like high school summer ball. So
exactly.
Yeah, man. So I guess my usual question is, when was that moment you felt like you were better and you could take it to that next level? You felt like you were better people around you, and you were actually good. And it sounds like your senior year is like where it all clicked. Yeah. Like mentally too.
Mentally, my senior year is when I first finally got confidence, and that's one thing I talk about with anything, but especially on the court, man, unless you have like this supreme confidence, you're not going to be able to hoop. I think that's probably one of my biggest flaws coming up in the game. Like my confidence would just go up and down so much over nothing. Like if you know you can hoop and you put in the work, like go out there and show it. You may making mistakes or not. And I think my senior year is when I finally just had confidence. Like, man, I've worked hard. I've been, I played against NBA guys. Like, I was just playing against a guy that got drafted. Like, I can do this. So once I did confidence, and then the next thing you know, it's like, dang, I'm scoring 25 a night, 20 a night. Like, and I didn't think I could do this a few months ago, but I just told myself I could. And now I'm getting recruited. And now, college coaches are coming asking me. I'm getting interviewed after games. All that does is just help your confidence too. But I'd say that changed really everything for me up until this day, of realizing that confidence kind of takes you where you need to go.
Dope,
man.
That's a fact. And that's a fact. So Mr. Basketball Tennessee is about to go to college. He's done with high school. what is that process like? There has to be different, man. Like I know we know where you end up. We know where you end up. But before that, was there anybody else it could have been? Did you have visits?
Oh
What was
yeah,
that?
I had a few different visits. I honestly thought I was going to go to Richmond in Virginia, Richmond
Mm,
Spiders, a really good school. I had a really good visit there, really crazy visit. After the show, I'll tell you all about it. But
yeah, please.
it was really crazy and cool, and getting recruited there. But I got back home, and Brian and I were actually getting recruited by Lipscomb at the same time. You know, they talked to us
Hmm.
both. And you know, it was so crazy because, you know, you're 18, 17, you're not really thinking about like how serious of a decision it really is.
Yeah.
And it really just came down to like, all right, I mean, Brian, I'd like to go to Lipscomb. He's like, I could go there too. Like, we can still be roommates. It's right up the street from where we are. We stay in town. We still be best friends. Like, it kind of just
Yep.
worked out that way. Slater's already going to be there. Slater had already committed. He had been recruiting us
Hmm.
too on the side. I had, other buddies that were already at Lipscomb too. It
Yeah.
kind of just happened that way organically, where we were just like, I guess we'll just go to Lipscomb together. Um,
Nice.
really, just to say that. I'm really glad it happened that way too. To be
Oh
honest,
yeah.
I met guys like you, met all my best friends from school there. So
Yeah.
that's
I'm gonna
really
say
how
that
it
sounds like
worked.
a real. Let's see. Sounds like a real easy process right there. I mean,
It's
kick it with the
crazy to
hump.
think about now. Like, it was just like, and to us, it felt so normal. But it's like, how often do you and your best friend get recruited to get full scholarships to the same school at the same time? Um,
That's wild.
yeah, it was crazy, man. Life is crazy that way. So it worked out.
Nice, man. So when you get to Lipscomb, man, you get to Lipscomb. You're a Bison now. How was? Because this is before my time. So how was
Mm-hmm.
your freshman year? Like, how was it? Your first hoop runs, first times like on campus and stuff. Like, how did you feel once you're at Lipscomb?
Once I got to Lipscomb, yeah, it's so funny because you come into the grind. Like, we had summer workouts and stuff. I thought I knew what it was like. And man, you know how it is that first week of freshman. I don't care who you are. That first week when you got early morning IDW workout, you got conditioning that
Yes.
day, you got weights, you got pickup, you got classes. Man, it's a lot,
Yeah.
man. I came in
Yeah,
there
man.
cocky, confident. I was like, man, I'm Mr. Basketball. I was getting my ass kicked the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember me and Brian, we had our individual workouts at at 6 a.m. It was me and Brian and two fifth-year seniors. So two freshmen and two fifth-year seniors, and they kick our ass all morning. And I just remember being like, man, this ain't for me. I don't even care. I'm quitting. I went in my whole life for this moment, and I'm just quitting it now because I don't even want this anymore. It was a crazy, man. Those first
He
couple of
said,
weeks of
nah,
college, man, those are tough for everybody, I think, especially doing that grind. And then,
definitely.
but yeah, once I got settled and everything, I actually, my bad, dude, keep me in the six. I actually, after the first couple of weeks, got settled in and figured it out, and ended up starting, few games my freshman year. So it ended up working out,
Nice.
but man, it was just still funny, that transition of thinking like, man, this is gonna be a breeze. I'm Mr. Basketball, to like,
Yeah.
man, I could quit right now and I'd be cool with it. It was that hard.
They said complete turnaround, complete turnaround.
It's a wrap.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's silly, man. But no, so so how was it once you I guess how was that progression each year then? So you come in, you feel like it's a little rough early, but it turns out being all right. So you coming back your second year. How are you feeling second year?
Came back our second year, and we looking back, man. Our second year was probably the best year we had to go to the tournament. We ended our regular season on like a 10-game winning streak or something going into the tournament. Like, we had a really good year with Mike Lusk. I don't know if I think you got a chance to meet Bud Love and all that the year before you got there.
Yeah,
And I
I know,
remember
but
because the sophomore year was really kind of like, it was like Adnan really came on strong. Slater was
hmm
really coming on strong. I was kind of really coming on strong. We were sophomores, really playing well, starting.
yeah,
And so that was exciting for us after we lost that tournament going into our junior year. Like, that was our, the year you came into that
yeah.
year because we were hungry that year, if you remember. Like,
Y'all were
we
hungry. Oh my
we
God.
came junior year, man. You came in and that's why everything was serious. Like, we were heightened up to another level.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, man, we were going like junior year, we were doing really, really well. We're back. So anyway, my junior year, we're actually doing really well. I remember like odd nine was busting ass. Slater was cold. Slater was like it's him and John. Odd nine were like first team A-Sun. And then man, I was playing pretty good, and then I ripped my shoulder up halfway, like in the January of that year, man, right before the Belmont game. That. And honestly, I still have problems with that shoulder to this day. Like looking back, that kind of still like I had to get surgery. I finished the season out, but it really never really got back to where I thought it could be. And then my senior year, man, just didn't really play that well. You know, didn't really end how I wanted it. The career, and we got upset in the first round. And so that's what really, like, after that, man, like, it kind of hurt me because I had the shoulder injury junior year. We go out sad senior year. And I was like, man, I'm done with ball. Like, I thought I was going to play overseas and all that stuff after that. And I was just kind of done with it, just sad, depressed over it. So it's crazy thinking about it now, looking back, how quick that went. But, I mean, the progression, man, I really thought, like I said, that our sophomore and junior year, we should have went to the tournament. I really think so.
Woo, brother, let me tell you, bro. I'm going to rewind it, bro, back to that junior year. Number one, that when you say your cockiness, man, coming in your freshman year, what you was thinking and stuff, I ain't no Mr. Basketball or anything, and I'm a walk-on. Bro, in my head. It was really in my head that conditioning was not about to be what it was, bro. And I was not ready at all, bro. So for you to say that, bro, I feel a lot better at how unready I was. I was probably still less ready, but not ready at all, man. It was wild, man. Just the whole schedule of it all.
Nobody's ready for that, man. That's why they do it that way. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Your junior year, man, how y'all say y'all were heightened and stuff, man, just everything. I remember just the intensity of y'all, man. Like, that's why I say that was my first real taste. And I thought, like, oh, like, this is the level. This was the level you gotta be on, man. Like, this is the level you gotta be on. It was days where, like, and we joked and stuff. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like mean practices or nothing, like everybody angry and stuff. But it was like, there was a time where everybody focused in and really focused in. It was like, I would be joking and stuff some days, and like you or Brian, you or B right, be like, hey, chill, or whatever. And even you, bro, you, if I started talking too much in practice sometimes, that's how I know you was different, bro. If I started talking too much in practice, you was like, oh, okay, nah, we gotta shut this down. No, Jerry, bro. It was clamps, dog, clamps. I'm like, dog, I ain't been around 6'6" like this, man. It was like, it was like, all right, man, look, enough of this today, man. Enough of this today. Lockdown. Man. So yeah, man, I just remember them times, man, because like I said, hilarious. Like, y'all really put me on to another level of the game, man. And I took a lot of the stuff that y'all taught me over to my new school and stuff, man. So
that's what's up.
That's why I gotta have y'all on here. I gotta tell y'all what y'all did for me personally. Like,
man, for real, I appreciate that.
Remember. Yeah, man,
you make it's crazy because, like, you know, you graduate and leave. I ain't thought about none of this since, you know, I left, really, you know, all these stories. But, like, you bringing back all these good times, like thinking about pickup and stuff. And, and if Johnny Lee didn't get hurt my junior year either, we would have went to the tournament. Because I got hurt, he got hurt. We were both playing really good. Those are the breaks, though, baby. That's how it works.
That is how it works, man. And when I have Johnny Lee on here, because I talked to him too, I be calling people out on the show. I talked to him too, man, and we're gonna link up, man, because I feel like in the point guard realm, and I'll tell him to himself too, he was like my OG, bro. Like, he really, like, I thought I had it, bro, and he had it, and he showed me he had it, and he put me on. So definitely, and I remember when he got hurt. I remember when you got hurt, and I still felt good about our squad, man. Like, I still felt good about it because everybody was still nice, man.
I mean, because Brody was starting to come on then. It was, man, we were so good, man. We could score 110, 115 easy, really, like, at one point. We were good.
Hey, I feel like we had a good trainer, too, like, to get y'all back. I don't know, like, I remember Anthony, bro, but I don't, like, fully remember him. So, like, I just remember, like, he was a lot. Yeah, he was a really cool dude.
Yeah, he was cool, man. He was really cool. The whole staff was cool. Lipscomb had a good, you know, they were good about that, like personnel and stuff. I always felt like they were took good care of us.
Facts, man. And yeah, and then so your senior year, and I remember that, and I remember. See, it's good that we talked too, because I remember I was like, "Well, Cheeks would definitely go overseas because he's nice. Like that's easy right there. Like he's nice. He's definitely going." So for you to tell me like why, bro, that's something that I've always wondered, and you don't know how to really ask somebody something like that because
yeah.
you don't know what the answer could be. You know, it could have been something tragic or something that I didn't even know. So.
Yeah.
For you
Man,
to, I'm glad you finally let me know, man.
yeah, man. No, for sure. Yeah, a lot of people used to ask me too. And looking back, it's kind of like I kind of think, man, could I have really done it? And it's like, nah, man, my head wasn't even there. I wouldn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't even. I was just way past. So
Got you.
that's how life works, man. That's why I'm on a podcast now talking about the glory days.
Hey, they were glory, man. They was
That's they
glory.
were. Yes, they were.
It was like, I remember it used to be like a thing if you dunked. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Chase dunked. Oh, man, I
Man,
seen you dunk one time. Bro, I seen you dunk one time, bro. I was like, oh, snap. I don't think I seen like, I'm like, no, he did that too, but dang, I don't think I seen him dunk before.
Very rarely. Never in the half court either. It's got to be a fast break, baby. I got to be wide open. Never in the half court.
Be, man. Yeah, Zebo's layup package though. Yeah, Zebo's layup package around the
It's
rack.
all about the touch. Easy. It's easy. Putbacks. Yes, sir.
Respect, man. So I got a couple new questions I just added to the
what you got?
The whole pod, man. So looking at a player, man, it could be I'll take this into how I feel about you and how I feel about my game type stuff. I feel like you were like an all-around player. Like you could play D, you got some mid, you got some cup game, you could help bring the ball up if you need it. Slight, you wasn't trying to like cross or nothing.
No, I ain't have that.
It's definitely a couple dribbles, get the ball advanced, whatever. Easy.
Sure.
And so how do you feel about that type player, all-around player, as opposed to somebody who's like a specialist, like a sharpshooter or a guy who's like clamps? Which way would you lean towards as far as like what you like in a player type thing?
Man, that's a really good question. Because I think about my game, I probably would lean toward, just because being biased, my game all around, just because I kind of liked, I like the fact that you could throw me in any situation and I can handle it, like I could, if somebody small's guarding me or I got to guard somebody small, I could do it, or any kind of game, like I felt like I could adapt in. But I think about the specialists, like I think about Berg and how great he could shoot the ball. Man, he, you know what I mean? Or you think like a Klay Thompson or guys like that are just like, I'd love to be that specialist at something to where I know, like, no matter what, if I get up 10 of these, 4 or 5 are going in. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the D. I don't care about anything like that. I was always envious of those type of dudes, or like Otto's game in the post, like, his moves or his jump hooks, like. It was just, it was kind of a special. He couldn't really do nothing else but catch it in the post and give you work, though. That's all he could do is just give you straight work. That's all Bird could do was just dot you for 9 threes. And that's, do you know what I mean? And that type of stuff is tight too. Like I'm jealous of that I couldn't do it. But I'm always a big fan of guys that can stay on the court and do a little bit of everything.
Respect, yeah. You put him. I like how you said that. Put him in any situation. That is a good way of putting it. And I like that brings me, that might make me lean back, man. I be leaning back and forth. How I hear the answers, I lean back and forth. Like,
right. Yeah.
You right too, bro. So another new one, man, that I've started asking. So if you could pick a starting 5, you can be in the 5 too. So if you pick a 5 that you're running with, that like, all right, it doesn't matter where we're at, we're going to get dubs on this court. You can have a bench player if you need, but just 5 people you've played with, just in teams you might have played with, BA, Lipscomb, or whatever.
I'm getting my guy B right at the center, just because, we got the paint on lock. Can we throw in lobs all day? Oh, man.
I think Brandon.
Brandon Wright. Yeah, Brandon Wright. Brian's Brandon. I think I'm gonna have guys I played with. Oof, man. I think I'm gonna have Johnny Lee at the one. I like him leading the squad. We just talked about him. Johnny's gonna be my one. Man, here's the thing. What am I gonna do? I gotta have Slater at the two. Slater can play the 1-2 and bring it up. You know what I mean? He can get to the rim on me.
Yeah.
And he gonna create shots for others too, just like Johnny. Give me at the three. I'm playing the four. Who's gonna be the three? Who's gonna be the three? Oh man, I would say Bird, but I need more defense. I'm going hard on variety. Let me get. Man, this is a tough question. Let me just get Brian at the three, man. Look, me and Brian alternate the four. That way, you're not scoring on the front court, and then I got a good back court for scoring. That's it. That's the squad right there.
That's a tough squad, man.
We'd serve anybody you pick, too.
That's what I want to hear, man. Hey, and that's a question I want to get the comment section cracking a little bit.
Exactly. You already know.
Because you know these people, man. That's tough. So, I love it, man. So here's like my kind of introspective question, man. So Michael Jordan says that, he said that basketball is like a teacher of life. So what do you think the game is like taught you, like about yourself? Something that you feel like you might have picked up just through playing basketball that you learned about yourself, type thing.
I think I learned not really about myself per se. I learned a lot about myself, man. Self-discipline, self-control. But I think what we talked about earlier is like basketball just taught me that the hard work really does pay off. Like, and when it comes to anything, you can take, because I still remember just going to the court by myself and practicing free throws all night, all game. And then the next game I'd make my free throws. And I know it was because I practiced it. It sounds so simple, but it comes like, when I do it now, when it comes to like stand up, if I do open mics and tell a bunch of jokes, like, I'm going to have good games, bad games, good sets, bad sets. But if I put in the work, like in the end, the results are going to come. You can't outwork the work. Like there's no easy way to do it. And that's what basketball taught me, man. Everything I've gotten is because I worked for it. Like, I ain't got much, but because I don't work that hard, but now, but you know what I mean? You got to put in the work to get anything you want. And that's one thing basketball taught me, man. Self-discipline, self-control. And if you want something, you got to go work and get it.
Respect, bro. Respect. That's a great answer, man. I love how my brothers answer these questions. So you talked about stand-up, man. Just how's life going for you right now, man? That's where I'm at now with it. How are you right now? Just Chiefs, man, how are you?
I'm actually good, man. Like I said, it's been crazy in LA. Like I said, it's been on lockdown. Been mostly, in the house, learning how to, work on YouTube videos and trying to do outside comedy shows and stuff. But I can't complain, man. I love living out here. It's been a crazy year, as we all know. But I think hopefully this election turns out the way I want it to. We don't have to get into that, but I think we all want it to turn out a certain way. And things start turning around. Just for the morale of people. But other than that, man, I'm good. I'm really happy. To be alive, man. Get to talk to Jerry. You feel healthy. Good to talk to guys like you, man. I don't get to see none of my homies as much anymore, so it's always good to catch up and think about all the good times we've had, man. So, I'm happy for you too, bro. I'm glad you started this podcast up, man. You're doing a hell of a job. Great questions, just keep that shit going for real.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. And so I want to ask you too, man, how did stand-up happen? Like, when did that happen? That's a question that once I seen a flyer, I was like, I have to ask.
Yeah. Oh, man. We'll see. All right. So after basically, I'll just give you the quick rundown. So I said, forget basketball. I'd stopped playing ball, and I just moved to Colorado and became like a hippie type dude, basically. I don't know if we keep it PG. I was like, growing weed. It was legal. Everybody out there.
Yeah, no, you're good. Live life.
All right. Yeah. Whatever. So I was doing all that, living life, man, and working, and just started writing comedy, man, and realized, like, shit, I think I could do it. I didn't really, never really had a fear of public speaking. So I got on stage one time, did an open mic, and people laughed, and I was like, shit, I liked it. I never thought I'd get to a point where I'd move to LA to do it full time, but I did it in Denver for a couple of years. Tried it in Salt Lake for a little bit, and then I was like, man, I'm just gonna take the next step. And I think about 3 years ago now, moved to LA, and man, it actually went pretty good. It went going pretty good. You know what I mean? It's I ain't made no money from it, but they ain't kicked me out yet, and I still get shows. I get shows when I can, and so man, it's been life's turned out pretty good. And it's good to see this whole new chapter. Being an athlete my whole life, and then turning into something like this. Shows we can do whatever we want, even though I'm still a hoop junkie. Till the day I die.
Fact. No, man, I love it, man. I love it, bro. Cause I was so curious, cause it made sense in a way. Like you were funny, bro. You were funny, and you could control the room when you wanted to. Like. If you want to talk to everybody in the room, it was nothing for you to just stand up and start talking to all of us, and everybody will just slowly start paying attention to whatever you're saying. So once I seen it, man, I was like, man, that makes sense, man. And if everything can get back to normal, I'm definitely coming out there, bro. And I'm seeing something, man. I'm seeing something.
No, for sure, man. Anytime you come out here, whenever, like you said, it gets back to normal, please hit me up. We're going to be in touch, man, and get my numbers up. We got to, even after this, man, I got to keep up with you, bro, for real, because,
yes, sir.
I'm glad to hear you doing well and all that. But, yeah, bro, LA, man, it's a good place to be once all this shit ends.
Yeah. All right, man. So I won't hold you much longer. This is my last question for this, man, and we can wrap. I always end it like this. You on an island with your defender, 1-on-1, uno manuno. What's your go-to?
Man, what's my go-to? Here's the thing with me.
Kids.
Yeah, that's what I just say. You gotta catch me. Because right now it's gonna be a whole lot of back him down, try to turn around over him. I'd probably say my move was always jab, baseline, cross middle. I think if I caught you on an island, and if it just a quick back middle 1-2 catch you on a closeout. I don't know. That always felt comfortable to me to do.
Oh yeah.
I never had a count. Yeah, I had to, and if I got there, if I just got to, just to the middle, I could finish with the left or right, whatever. I just never developed a counter for it. So that's not a game. You know what I mean? But, you live and you learn.
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you being on here, man. We made it through. We're on the island.
Man. This was dope, bro. For real. I need to hit you back up and do my own podcast where I just ask you questions. But man, I really appreciate you, having me, bro. For real, thanks.
Oh yeah, it's nothing, man. Like I said, bro, you were high on the list, man, of people that I know I wanted to talk to, man, and I'm just super appreciative how you worked with us. We, like we said, we couldn't get it the first time. We got it now, man. And
you didn't want to see me a few days ago, but no, man, I was peeled up. Back hurt. It was crazy. But yeah, bro. Before we go, who you got in the series? What you got? Lakers, Heat? It's 2-1 now.
I'm gonna have to still stay with the Lakers, man. I'm gonna have to, cause
I don't want to, but I have to.
Because even that game, AD was foul trouble, man. So we'll see, man. Like by the time this. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying they get Bam back this game tonight, so hopefully. But by the time you post this, if this even makes it, this shit will be over, so it won't matter.
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll see. Yeah, they'll be like, man, these two.
Yeah, they too corny. Yeah, talking about old shit.
But, hey, whatever, man. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
But no, man. Appreciate you, bro. And
man. Keep doing your thing. Tell your family I said what up too.
You already know.